What a game for your Miami Heat as they lose by 19 to the Boston Celtics, but who cares? Because tonight, a legend was born. As Keyshawn Johnson checked into his first NBA game and displayed the greatness that he will have in this league. As he finished tonight with 2 points on 1 of 2 shooting, but the 3 was in and out, so it kind of count that as like half a make, so he was like 1.5 for 2. But his first bucket was a dunk off a Duncan Robinson pass, and it was beautiful. What else do we got tonight? The Miami Heat held Jason Tatum to under 20 points. He finished with 18. We got a Jaime Jaquez bounce-back game. A 19 and 10 double-double for him. He was looking super, super aggressive out there. You had Bam Adebayo dunking on Luke Cornett, I think is his name, in the fourth quarter. The reason I forgot Luke Cornett's name for a minute is because he was looking like Hakeem Olajuwon out there tonight. I mean, my God, that boy had like 6 blocks today. It was insane. But anyways, that's really all the positivity that I can spew out about this game. I try to take some sort of different approach because what you want me to do? You want me to come on this post game after every single game and say the same things over again? Bam Adebayo's being soft. The offense looks sloppy. What is Spoelstra do? I can't say the same things every single game because tonight was a lot of what we've been seeing, a lot of the bad that we've been seeing, except this time they played a really good team, and that's why you essentially get blown out from start to finish. But we'll kind of go through my notes here and go through the game recap and then talk about a few of these players. So first off, obviously the Heat had a lot of injuries that they were dealing with. Jimmy Butler banged his knee in the game yesterday. You were also missing Khalil Ware, and you were missing Kevin Love, and you were missing Josh Richardson. And I'm thinking, oh God, that means we're going to get Thomas Bryant minutes, aren't we? And Thomas Bryant did definitely play today. He played 10 minutes. Thank God that's all it was. But then again, he wasn't much worse than our starting center, which was Bam Adebayo, but we'll get into him. It was a very frustrating game from Bam because most of the Celtics big men were also missing. They were missing Kristaps Porzingis, they were missing Al Horford, and the Celtics were also missing Drew Holiday. So I know a lot of the most optimistic Heat fans are going to say, hey, we didn't have Jimmy Butler, don't count this game. Well, the Celtics were also missing 3 starters. So I think that's a bit of a wash, if anything. But Bam Adebayo started out the game with a beautiful mid-range jump shot, and I'm thinking, yes, Bam is back. He's taking advantage of the easy-ass matchup he has with Luke Cornett, and then he proceeds to be totally ass after that. He really looked unsure of himself the entire game offensively. One of the things that I have been saying all year is I think he's scared to take his mid-range shots because that's really where he thrived last year. And obviously Spoelstra has put a big emphasis on eliminating the mid-range, layups and threes. And I think because of that, Bam is really like second-guessing himself before he shoots. Even in that game yesterday versus the Raptors, he was missing a lot of those bunnies, then missed a dunk. When you're missing dunks, you're in your own head. And then today, I think it was a lot of the same thing because Bam's body language has not been great. He'll miss a shot and then he'll clap his hands like that. He'll put his head down when he runs back on defense. And I do think the bad offense is starting to affect his defense because, yes, he will always be one of the best defenders in the NBA. But if you watch his body language out there, it's just not great on that side of the ball. There was another play earlier today on offense where the Heat were inbounding under their own baskets. Alec Burks was wide open, but Bam was completely lost, so kind of ran and intercepted a ball that I think was intended for Burks, but then Burks spaced out a little bit, went to the corner, was still open. Bam decided not to pass it, so Burks cleared the corner to give Bam some room to operate, and then Bam decided to pass to a corner, which was now empty because Burks left. So Bam basically threw the ball out of bounds to no one. And then, of course, he put his head down, starts walking back on defense. A lot of bad body language today from Bam. And he did pick it up in that fourth quarter, but we'll get into that a little bit later. Of course, from the jump, Peyton Pritchard. That was my Boston accent. I can't do it. Peyton Pritchard. I don't know. I can't say that. But anyways, Peyton Pritchard got off to a hot start. Obviously, before the game, all the Heat fans were saying to smash the Peyton Pritchard over. I did not do it just because I didn't feel like it, but I should have because he was absolutely cooking tonight. It's really funny how does every Heat fan know that this random-ass dude's about to pop off? Now, I know Peyton Pritchard's having a nice season, but his line was at 15.5 points, and he literally scored 25 today. So and he was 10 to 17 from the field. Like, how does every Heat fan know this little dude's about to cook us, but Spoelstra can't think of anything to stop it? He can't cook up anything. I don't know. It was frustrating seeing him cook because he was really doing whatever he wanted out there. There was one play where Pritchard drove baseline. Pella picked him up, and Pritchard just bodying Pella into the paint. Pella, a guy who's like 5-6 inches taller than Pritchard, just getting absolutely stunned by him. And Pritchard basically pushed Pella right into the paint and got an open layup. Embarrassing defense for the most part, especially on him, but really on everyone. I mean, the defense on Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. Seriously, there must have been at least 10 triples that those two took combined, in which there was nobody within 15 feet of them. Seriously. I'm talking not a single defender within a 15-foot proximity of those guys, just launching threes. And while Tatum didn't really do too much today, his shot selection is also stupid. I'd find him to be a very frustrating player if I was a Celtics fan. But Jaylen Brown today, 29 points. He was only 8 of 21 from the field, but he did hit 4 threes, and a lot more of those were wide the hell open. Just really a pitiful defensive performance, pitiful defensive effort by almost everyone, except for Drew Smith, who y'all know I am a converted Drew Smith believer now. He came into the game, immediately hit a 3, was playing great defense, and then to start the second half, Spoelstra actually benched Duncan Robinson in favor of Drew Smith, who immediately got a couple of steals out of the pick and roll guarding Derek White, and that pick and roll was killing the Heat all day. But the fact that Drew Smith was able to stay attached to White's hip and just have the athletic and they had the athleticism, the IQ to snatch that roll pass out of the air, phenomenal defense by Drew Smith. He's awesome. I hate to say it. I don't hate to say it because now I'm a believer, but he's awesome. Even drew a couple of charges today. That's a guy that needs to get a lot more minutes. Now, I know he's on a 2-way contract, so the number of days he can spend with the team is limited. But at this point, it's looking like there's no way that he cannot make some sort of trade. I don't know if they buy. I don't know if they sell. But whatever they do, it's probably going to be attaching a few contracts together, which means that they can open up some roster spots for a guy like Drew Smith, for a guy like Kashad Johnson, who, although he only got 6 minutes today, obviously I am very, very excited about him. You know, I was kind of joking at the beginning saying he was legendary. Again, he played 6 minutes, but if y'all haven't been seen in the G League, he's been incredible. A couple 30-point games. I think just dropped like 28 points a couple nights ago. He's awesome. Now, I don't like seeing him playing center like Spoelstra had him play today. He was literally guarding the 7-foot Neemias Queta on the other team. That wasn't pretty. But if the Heat did have Khalil Ware or Kevin Love, maybe you could kind of, not that Kevin Love's a center either, but if they played Kashad with Bam or played him with Khalil Ware, I'd like his minutes a lot better. But yeah, I think he'll be awesome. I think these kids can play. I think they have heart, and I don't think a lot of guys on the Heat are playing with heart right now. So hopefully the Heat find a way to get those guys some more minutes. But yeah, we go into that fourth quarter. Eric Reed was getting really frustrated at this point. Both Reed and Crotty were. Reed was complaining about the officiating. And then at one point, Reed said that Drew Smith did not trip Brown. And Crotty saying he did trip Brown. And those two were even bickering back and forth. And I actually do think Drew Smith tripped Brown, if y'all saw that play. But then even later in the game, Crotty's like, why isn't Bam being aggressive? He's being guarded by the slow-footed Luke Cornett, sounding exactly like I've been for the last 2 months, you know, the first 2 months of this season. And then it was right after John Crotty said that, Bam drove his ass into the paint and boom, punched it right on top of Luke Cornett. It was a beautiful play. Then Bam came back a couple plays later, caught a pass off a beautiful Tyler Hero dime behind the back, top of the key 3, bang. Then Bam got a push shot late, so he started to get things going a little bit. And you could listen to the announcers. They were finally being like, God damn, finally, Bam. Even they were like, what the hell is wrong with Bam about all season? Because he's been playing soft. He's been playing real soft. And I've been saying it's all these slow-footed centers that he should be dominating, and he's not. And that's why I've been frustrated. Y'all have heard me say it. It's been Nurkic and Sabonis and Taj Gibson and whoever and Jakob Poeltl, whoever the hell else. And today might have been the worst matchup, or the easiest matchup that Bam's had all season. Luke freaking Cornett, who I know was awesome today in a lot of areas. And like I said, he got you 6 blocks today, at least 6 blocks. Did finish with 6 points also. But so he played well. But as far as an isolation matchup, Bam should have been attacking that every single time. That's why Crotty was so mad. That dunk that Bam had, there's no reason he can't do that every single time. But regardless, it was too little too late, and this game was never really close, other than when the Heat were up like 7-0, and then the Celtics went right on an 8-0 run. And then I think even to start the fourth quarter, the Heat went on another 7-0 run, which the Celtics followed with like an 8-0 run. But anyways, as far as the box score here, Jaime Jaquez, 19 points. I liked seeing him aggressive, but truthfully, he wasn't as great as the numbers look, unless you look at the efficiency, which was 35%. He just doesn't necessarily look like himself out there. He was a guy last year that he would have never shot 35%, and we've been getting, or obviously not as often as we've seen from him. Actually watched a video that Jimmy High Roller posted today, talking about like how long LeBron could play in this league if he wanted to. And one of the things Jimmy said is that like the worst rotation players in this league are averaging like a -2 PER, whatever advanced statistic you use. And then he gave some examples of some of the worst players that have that PER. And one of them he named was Jaime Jaquez. So that made me a little bit sad because I know Jaime hasn't been great, but I didn't know he's been one of the worst rotation players in this league. And although he wasn't efficient today, it was nice to see him just get the shot attempts up, as he did get 14 of them up today and got you 19 points. Haywood Highsmith, I felt like was pretty good. He's always going to be a guy that gets a lot of minutes versus Boston because he is Jason Tatum's daddy. As far as he's really good at guarding him, I guess. So one of the things I did do is I smashed the Highsmith over on the anonymous player prop betting app that doesn't sponsor me, so I won't say their name, and that cashed pretty easily. So shout out to Haywood Highsmith, 10 points, 4 rebounds, 5 assists. Felt like he was pretty good today. Bam Adebayo ended up finishing with 15 points, 8 rebounds, and 5 assists. So he has been rebounding and passing the ball really well. But again, today, 33% shooting. And he was at like 10% before that lipstick on a pig fourth quarter that he had, the little bit of the window dressing, whatever you want to call it. But either way, still not very good for him. I think it's a mental thing with him more than a skill thing, because he's getting to his spots. He's getting to that dotted line shot. He's just missing them. Had a couple jump shots today that barely skimmed the front of the rim. That's a mental thing. I don't know what it takes for him to get out of it, but I hope that he does. Duncan Robinson, another terrible night for him. 0-6 from 3. I know he grew up being a Celtics fan. Maybe that's why he was so ass today. Or maybe it's because his good games have been few and far between this season. Now, he's had some good ones. Has had some really good ones. And I do like what he does as far as passing the ball. 3 assists today and everything. But he's not having the best of season so far. But hopefully he's a guy they don't need to rely on too much if they could get healthy. You know, have Jimmy Butler back. If Terry Rozier could somehow find his stride. I was hoping Terry would go off today back in Boston, but he only had 4 points on 2 of 6 shooting. But then anyways, to round up the starting lineup, Tyler Hero, very disappointed with him today. 19 points, 6 of 19 shooting. So he was 31% from the field, 2 of 10 from 3, so that's 20% there. He's a guy that I wanted to see really lift this team up in a big spot. You have no Jimmy Butler. We've seen Tyler Hero play well this year without Jimmy, try to carry this team to wins. But this is the first time that he's tried doing it against a very great opponent, maybe the best opponent in the league, on their home court. This was after he was terrible all playoffs last year versus this team, except that one game. I wanted to see him come out there today and have a very solid showing, and I don't think he did. I mean, 31% from the field is just not going to cut it. Missed a lot of bunnies at the rim. The whole team did. See, that's the thing. I don't feel like the Celtics defense was crazy good today. I feel like the Heat missed a lot of open shots, and that includes Tyler Hero, man. I mean, from the 3 today, the Heat as a team shot 8 of 35. That's 22%. That's not going to work against most teams, especially not the Boston Celtics. But yeah, man, I was disappointed with Tyler Hero today. I'm not writing him off as a player. He's still not having a great player, or he's still a great player. He's still having an all-star season. But I wanted to see all-star Tyler tonight. You didn't get it, but the Heat have a tough week coming up, so he'll get more opportunities to prove it. And then off the bench, no one else I really care about here other than we talked about Drew Smith and Keshad Johnson. Pella today, 12 minutes didn't get you much, and then neither did Thomas Bryant. So Anyways, I guess from the Celtics side, though, yeah, we talked about the Celtics. Peyton Pritchard, God, that guy. Ugh, one of the most annoying players ever. Outside of Derek White. If it's not Derek White killing you, it's Peyton Pritchard. God, I hate this team. Anyways, the Heat have a very, very difficult schedule coming up. I believe their next game is actually versus Cleveland. Let me double check that here for y'all. So the Heat today played the Celtics. No, and then they got LeBron coming to town on Wednesday. Phoenix after that on Saturday. And then they got the Cavaliers on Sunday. My God. It's going to be rough. I know Tobin posted a video. I think 5 Reasons posted a podcast talking about it, saying, is this a make or break week for the Heat? They could go 0-4. That puts you 4 games under 500. Maybe they go 3-1 and things are looking great. I don't think this week will really impact the thoughts of the front office because this core has been together 6 years. They should know right now whether this core is going to not, regardless of how this week plays out. And very clearly, this core is not working. I know you didn't have Jimmy today, but even if Jimmy played, the Heat aren't winning this game. If you watch the game, you know Jimmy Butler's not making that big a difference. But anyways, like I said, they got a tough week coming up. If the Heat sweep the next 3, the tone will completely change for me personally, at least. But we'll see what happens. Make sure y'all like the video and subscribe. I'm on the grind to hit 6K subs, so all the support is greatly appreciated. I'll see y'all. I really want to get a video out solely on Bam and his struggles. So maybe I'll do that tomorrow if I found some time. But I'll see y'all then. Peace out.
Look, pull up in your city tryna get that dead face. Do it on my own, I don't need no dead weight. Had to kill him off, yeah, I need a head space. You know this homegrown bitch don't offend me.